beer is a very small world, and sometimes it can feel a little bit insular. But also sometimes you think you know everything, you think you know all the people, you think you've seen everything, and then something really surprises you, and that's exactly what happened today when I spent a good few hours with the guys from Northern Monk. We talk about passion a lot in the industry, and we go, oh, it's so great to see so much passion in this and passion in that. But what's really amazing is seeing a little bit of ambition as well. And these guys have grown from what is a beautiful grade 2 listed tiny little essentially brew pub tap room into this amazing huge site which we'll be looking at, all the while having so much focus on the quality and the way that they want to conduct themselves as a brewery, the way they support local artists and local chefs. I mean, they even just paid for a mural very recently of an amazing guy who built lots of the area that they're founded in. And it's this kind of thing that separates not just craft brewers from macro brewers, but like really long-term thinking craft brewers from the guys that are perhaps not quite understanding what craft's about. It's getting involved in all these different areas. It's about understanding the context of what you have and serving the local community and giving something completely unique, which is what craft beer started as and what it needs to continue to be. So guys, this is a really interesting interview with Russ, the founder, and with their head brewer Brian. So keep watching till the end. I promise you it's a cracker, and you will learn a lot about a brewery you probably thought you knew everything about. So I'm here with Russ, founder of Northern Monk, and with Brian, head brewer, or face of the brewery now. Wellingtons have been retired.
That's fairly accurate, right?
BBC television celebrity,
international stardom,
COC spokesman.
So we're outside the place where it all started, which is this magnificent grade 2 listed building, which is what's Flax? I have no idea what that is.
Maybe we should Google Flax real quick. But yeah, I don't want to go into the nitty gritty of Flax, but basically it was spun here. We've got a mill building just behind us, which was once the biggest freestanding room in the world. So part of John Marshall's empire and really a centre of industry for the north of England. There actually used to be sheep that grazed on the roof behind us. You should probably go and check that out at some point today. Yeah, until one of them fell through one of the ceiling window things. So yeah, it's it's kind of a wild part of the world, and a part of the world that we're really stoked to be a part of and kind of bringing a bit of industry back to, really.
So how did you end up here, and why are you called Northern Monk?
The idea for Northern Monk was first conceived in 2008. And really it was then and is now a reflection of kind of our northern roots and heritage, and I want to reflect that in everything that we do, but also an appreciation of the history and heritage of brewing, particularly monastic brewing, which was practiced across the UK as well as Europe and parts of the world for thousands of years. I think it's really overlooked as a UK brewing practice, but just down the road we've got Kirkstall Abbey. We've got Fountains Abbey as well, all of which had active breweries.
Yeah, we just got our first Trappist brewery
back,
haven't we? Yeah.
I was thinking we should hit them up for a collaboration. I don't know how they take that, but
it might be slightly offended by the cliche monk
they might do.
on your badge. When we did a video at Westmount, we got in trouble for using music like the email going, love the video, but don't use that music.
Who was it that came? Was it Westmount? Yeah, so we had some of the monks from Westmount in.
Oh, really?
And we were talking to them. And they were saying, we think it's really cool what you're doing with the kind of the whole monk thing, and we were talking about that, and I was saying how we never use kind of religious I don't know, things with kind of religious connotations, and then I was doing a tasting at the bar, and it was when we just released Faith, and I was like, oh, and here's a glass of, and I was like, yeah, that kind of flew in the face of that.
Faith
Since
can
then,
mean many things.
Well, exactly. And we played with that a little bit more since, but
it was dedicated to George Michael. It's fine.
Exactly.
So you don't brew that many Belgian styles, but you have did a DDH Saison, I think it was.
Yeah, like we've done a few saisons. I think we've always wanted to nail our IPAs and our dark beers before we kind of moved on. We have got, so Ads is third employee, part of the family here at Northern Monk, and now manages all our brewing activity at the old Flax store, which is where we started. Well, we started in my parents' cellar, but when we properly started. And this site is kind of perfect for doing wild and sour, and we're definitely going to explore the kind of Belgian styles. And Ads is really looking forward to hand corking lots of champagne bottles in his future,
My favourite.
which is his favourite. So yeah,
That's what you got into it for, right?
exactly.
Yeah. So you said that it all started here, but actually started in your parents' basement.
Yeah.
And that was in 2008.
No, so 2008 was a young entrepreneurs competition that we didn't win. Focused on day jobs, climbed corporate ladders, realised corporate ladders don't get much better the higher they get. And then in 2013, my granny decided to downsize, sell her property, and the grandchildren all got £5,000. And I decided that was enough to start a brewery. Quickly realised that's not enough to start a brewery. So we kind of used Cuckoo Brewing, and we brewed out at a brewery called Hambleton's in Ripon. And quickly realised we weren't able to achieve the level of quality and our ambitions really using that model in the UK. I think we're inspired by the likes of Mikkeller and gypsy brewers across Europe, but having access to breweries that are totally world class like Dupruf.
Yeah.
I mean, we contacted Dupruf, but it would have been a year wait to get in on the brew schedule there, and that's just difficult. So
£5,000 won't last that long.
no, exactly. Yeah, we burnt through all that pretty fast. Then we took on a small amount of investment from a friend of a friend's dad, and went out to look for the perfect brewing location, somewhere that reflected our northern heritage and the history and stuff that we really wanted behind the brand, but also accessible for a tap room and and all that kind of stuff.
So when did you move in here and start brewing yourselves?
4 years ago, right?
About 4 years ago.
Yeah, so first brew was August 2014.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got the keys around December 13, I think, and we were like, oh yeah, we'll be brewing by February. And
Never happened.
February we were still walking around with like chisels, taking up concrete from the floor and stuff, and
Basically.
trying to help all their contractors. And then, I think
Trying to help. I like.
let's
I
do
remember
something.
me and Bri clearing about this table's worth of floor, and we were like, we're gonna do it today, lads. We're gonna drive it home. And it's like, we didn't make any impact whatsoever, but because it was totally all the stone flags were covered in carpet tiles, the floors were all boarded up. There was some really just graffiti everywhere. It had been used as a training centre for people that had been out of work to try and get back into work when there was more government funding for that kind of thing. And then it had been derelict for 3 or 4 years until we took it on.
And so how much were you churning out of there, and how much are you making at the new place? What was that? step
So
up?
when we first started, we had the brew kits about 10 barrel, around about 15 hectoliters, I guess, packaged. So we had 3 fermenters. We were brewing basically 3 times a fortnight, so 15 to 30 hex a week. Once we got some new tanks coming to the other site on Monday, Tuesday. So once they're up and running, we'll be doing about, across both sites, about 500 hex a week. So whatever that is from 15 up to 500, it's and that's
And that was off the back of a crowdfunding
Yes.
that you
It
guys
was,
did
yeah.
last year.
No, it was this year.
There you go, mate.
It's real life.
Nothing but
You won't
professional
see
filmmaking
day-to-day
on
life.
this channel. He's going to be a star. The world's most famous posting.
Yeah, it was crazy.
How much did you raise, and how many people are now part owners of your brewery?
So we welcomed into our business
Your monkery.
2,168, something like that. We raised, so we were aiming for 500,000. I think so when we started, we wanted to use the confines of this building to be the parameters of our growth, and then Ads quickly got vocal enough about about the Yorkshire Stone flags and the limitations of the setup that we've got there. Ads still carries all of the malt between the floors, up to a ton a day, and there's serious limitations of this building. And so more recently, we're just hammering our canning line. It can't keep up. We don't have the beer still. So we thought we'd go for it. We thought we'd go for the crowdfunding option. We thought it was a good time for the business. We thought we might scrape through 500,000 if we were lucky, and we kind of feel like made a few good beers along the way, and there was a bit of support behind us, and then and it just blew us away really. I think there was an element of luck, as there is with all things in life, but we worked really hard for it, and it all came together really nicely. The fact that like we're going through like an incredible heat wave now, but at the time you couldn't even imagine it, but there was basically snowstorm really, like everyone was at home, no one went to work the day we went live on the crowdfund, so
we all sat there going,
yeah,
no, what?
Yeah, it seemed to work that way. So
About 2.5 hours to hit 500,000.
Oh, was it?
yeah,
And then
Wow.
Hit it in the
6 days to 1 million.
yeah,
And then about 13 before it closed at 1.5. So
exactly.
So did you set that ceiling? Or
Yeah, so we really like, you know, we
It's one of those numbers you're just like, we'll put 1.5
yeah, exactly that. Yeah, we never thought that it was going to get to that kind of territory, so we put, you know, that's the most that we'd be prepared to give away of the business. So yeah, that's what we went with, and we never expected to go above the 1 million mark. It's kind of lucky that we did, because now we've costed it all out and we're working through it. And
the cost always spiral. So, but you guys, I mean, I think you guys were one of the first people that obviously went to can, and then also went to supermarkets pretty quick as well.
yeah, I think so. Well, we were always keen to go into cans. We knew the value of cans in terms of, as a brewery, we want to try and do things the right way as far as possible. The environmental impact of cans we felt was much lesser than that of glass bottles. Yeah, it just felt like the right move for us. In terms of supermarkets, we have always, basically we've been approached by supermarkets from the get-go, and we've always kind of ummed and ahed about what to do with it. The lifeblood of our business is the independence, and we've kind of, they're our main concern and the people that we try and protect and build our products towards in the first instance. But when you are tripling capacity, doubling capacity, and you know we've got bills to pay, we're still a business. We do look at how we can make bigger arrangements work. So we only work with one major retailer of the major four, which is Morrison's. We felt that they were a northern-based company. Their head office is on my drive to work. We felt that we'd be able to have a close working relationship to ensure quick turnaround of stock and having the freshest stock possible, and try and navigate through some of those things, the issues that other people have had. And crucially, we've only done multi-packs to them, so we appreciate there's a lower price point through selling to supermarkets, and people can buy our beer at a cheaper price point, which we're happy with, but they have to buy a 4-pack. So I feel like that kind of worked, and it was our best way of doing it right.
People talk about a craft beer bubble, when's it going to burst and that kind of stuff, but if you know breweries like you guys are getting into supermarkets, getting draft in sort of some really big chains now, do you think there's a tide turning in the UK like it already has in America, where they're now at 20% of volume is now craft?
I would hope so. I think that can only be a good thing. I think we're at 4, 5, so we're still way off that. I don't know, what do you guys think?
I think the average drinker, you know, they're going to go for what's easiest, and so buying beer whilst you're on your shop makes it a lot easier. If we can take up market space and shelf space there with our own products and with craft products, it's very quickly going to catch up to the American market.
But yeah, beer experience, we know as a brewery, we've got like Eternal and a 4-pack in Morrison's that you can pick up for, I think they do two 4-packs for £10 now. So you got 8 beers for a tenner there. And then at the other end of the market, we're like, how can we really build on this experience so you've got like something that's completely 360, whether that's like, obviously we do the Patrons projects, we're all peel and reveal. More recently we added like the popping candy, which is obviously going to split opinion, we always knew it would, but again it's about how...
like Cantillon used to come with sugar on it, like a little pack of sugar, like
exactly.
it's the craft progression of that.
And it's how you can enrich that experience, you know, and add more to it and kind of make people think differently about beer. And more recently we were kind of working with local bands and including their music in the beer. I think the bottom line with all those things is, if you want to drink a beer, there's still beer inside it, and kind of not to overthink it, but if you really want an experience, then go to town and like really embrace all these different elements of the experience.
Yeah, I mean it's great to see that 8 for a tenner, but equally you've probably got some beers that are a tenner.
Oh, for sure.
So you've got the whole gamut.
Yeah.
So you're talking about how obviously you guys are a business and you made that decision to go into supermarkets. You also, well, I thought you'd taken the decision to stop cask, but you guys are filling casks. Well, we're filling casks right now.
That
So
was
we drank that out.
very technically we probably still do the same amount of casks as we did when we first started. Nothing else is going
but
around
it's just
it.
the proportion of
But we've never owned our own casks, never owned our own kegs. We've always done it all. We've always been on e-casks and so on, which makes we get them in clean, but it's still a labour-intensive job for as I spent this morning putting PA in different single casks, shaking it up, draining it out, lining them all out. It was all this morning. And filling them all. It's incredibly labour-intensive.
Having gone around breweries like Timothy Taylor's, where their whole reason for being is cask beer, all their QC, all of their equipment they've got on site is built around cask beer. That's just never been what we've been about. We know that our best, Faith is an incredible cask beer, Eternal's a great cask beer, but it's just not what gets us, it's not our driving force, and we'd rather focus on the things that really are our driving force.
So why do you still do it? Is it like it's wanting to be part of that northern kind of culture again?
I think there's wanting to be part of that northern culture. I think we're still cask beer lovers, and I still think there is a place for Faith and cask on a bar for sure every time. But we also for example, at our bars that we will hopefully be rolling out soon, with Manchester being the first, we're going to have 20 lines again following the refractory model, 18 Northern Monk, 1 Timothy Taylor's Landlord and 1 JW Leeds Bitter, because we're beer drinkers as well, and we know that a pint of Landlord is an incredible thing and something that we want. We're not going to try and compete with that. Nope. We did a beer called True North for a long time. It was good at times, but we knew we never nailed it, and I'd take a pint of Landlord over it. It's the bottom line.
If you would, then
exactly. So
out that product,
so what's the point? Just let them do it.
So talk a little bit. We haven't really talked about the beers that you guys are producing at the moment, because I think, tell me if it's unfair, I think the quality is kind of skyrocketed. I think that I had a real sort of double take when I drank Captain North.
Oh right, yeah.
And I just thought that was a fantastic beer.
Cheers,
that really put you guys on the map for IPAs as far as I was concerned. I thought that was the first time I drank something. Whoa!
Thanks,
and then Heathen has been unbelievable as well. Did anything change, or is it just sort of that slow creep and it was just a moment for me, really?
I think probably more of a slow creep, right?
I think pretty much our entire 4 years has been a bit of a
slow creep,
quite a rapid slow creep. In that, we feel like with every stage of expansion, the beer has stepped up a level. We've come from more people coming into the business with ideas and just helping grow the entire thing, or whether it's been from just increasing knowledge, increasing experience. And I mean, you do see it sometimes when breweries do a big expansion onto a new kit, a whole new setup, and there's this, whether it is or not, you wonder if it's as good as it used to be. And we do feel like when we really on the new kit last year, that the beer did go up another level, and then there's the increased knowledge and experience too. Like I think me and Russ went on a work trip, very much research trip around New England last summer. Well, 2 summers ago now, really. I think just saw visited Trillium and Alchemist and those guys, and saw what was going over there, and experienced it, and tried to take it as much as we could, and brought that back. And
it was an interesting debate that you'll be surprised to know, raised some eyebrows on Twitter and some comments about, does the UK outside of cask have its own kind of beer personality? Because obviously we're so influenced by the US, and particularly at the moment the haze train that just bashes through every barrier. Are we losing some identity, or are we finding a new one?
I don't think we're in the process of finding one. You see, we've talked about this quite a lot again, like the way craft beer as a UK thing is going to really grow and sort of build on one of the strengths of the UK. It's low ABV session beers, and so taking everything that's great about the UK brewing at the moment, and the IPAs and so on that are coming out, and bringing that to a more approachable feel to it. Where we take a lot of pride in Faith. It's like 5.4 New England style, but just hits that nice middle ground that you kind of come
that's a really good point.
We started doing Striding Edge at 3%, which
which is a banger.
We're hoping to really build on that, bring it into the core range, and
you made a fantastic session porter as well.
Same series,
maybe?
Yeah.
That was a best
unbelievable.
I mean, I think that those beers feel like the best of best of UK brewing and the best
Yeah,
of
so it's that
American.
session pint approach, but it's
Which is that
which
session
makes sense in the
territory, but
440.
again, just bringing
For
in
sure,
the New England
yeah.
influence to session beers as well, and just I think that's still always going to be the biggest market in the UK. And
Yeah.
obviously, if you really want to grow the sector, then it's important to have that breadth. You're never going to hit your 20% market or whatever just brewing American IPAs and double IPAs, because people just don't want those on a daily basis.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with what Brian said there. I think other examples of that would be the Northern Rising beer that we did for the crowdfunding campaign, which was 5.6, 5.7, but you know, it packed so much flavour. It's a beer that we're really proud of, and we're kind of working on building more of those styles into the brew schedule. Yeah.
I agree. I hope so, because my liver needs it. To be honest, that might be the Manchester hangover talking.